Crowwheel here. Today we review an IPA and ask, should you bring your authentic self to work?
Okay.
Hey, there you are. How's it going?
Yes, good to see you. How about some beer and conversation?
Oh, that's a great idea. So what are we drinking?
We are drinking an IPA from Heavy Seas.
Okay.
Yes, a new one here. They just came out.
Fantastic. Yeah, good idea.
So what's on your mind?
Well, I used to have a roommate from Palestine whose name was Fuad. Housemate, actually, not roommate. And he got a job as doing telephone sales.
All right.
And when he was doing the telephone sales, they said, no, your name isn't Fuad. Your name is Fred.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the phone to a bunch of Americans and you say your name is Fuad, what? How do you say that? How do you say that?
Yeah,
right?
it just disrupts the flow.
It disrupts the flow.
Yeah.
That's right. So they didn't want him to be Fuad. They wanted him to be Fred.
Yeah.
So was he bringing his authentic self to work?
Everyone must know me as Fuad the Magnificent.
Yeah.
No,
he wasn't.
You're just following company guidelines.
That's right.
That's
They're trying to make it nice on the consumer.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All
we're
right.
here to sell stuff.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about that concept. But first, Lost Navigator.
Yes. So Heavy Seas is down. It's down the road, but they don't really put out a lot of new fancy flavors.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's mostly in bottles. So I saw this, didn't even realize it was them. And what is it?
Lost Navigator Dank.
Dank.
West Coast style IPA.
So they had two of them. They were both 9.5.
Yeah.
One was Dank, West Coasty, and the other one was Hazy and New Englandy.
So, okay, let's tell the listeners what West Coasty means, because when we went to IPA school, they told us about this.
They said, what's with all the crystal?
Right.
You know, for us, it's just hops and water.
Yeah, although this one looks a little dark.
It is a little darker.
A little dark to be a West
darker
Coasty.
than I would think. A lot of those West Coasties are Budweiser.
Yeah, they're Budweiser color, but they just got hops coming right up your nose. Yeah.
So, and I like the hoppy description here. Herbal and pine forward from Chinook, Simcoe, and Centennial hops, which are at least, there's so many new hops coming out.
Yeah.
But these are all hops that have been around for a while. I've brewed with them. And so 9.5, are you getting herbal and pine?
Oh, yeah, get in there. This is absolutely delicious. I'm definitely getting herbal and pine. I'm definitely getting the heat of the 9.5, which I like. I don't want it to sneak up on me.
I like it.
I've got the maltiness from the 9.5 ABV, and this is really delicious.
Yes, it is. It's not for a novice. If you're just getting into craft beer, this will turn you off.
This will turn you off. You will never want to drink another craft beer. But if you like craft beer, if you like
boozy,
strong beers,
hoppy,
man, this one is really delicious. I like that. This almost qualifies as a Christmas Eve wait for Santa beer.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be in the rotation or this is just a seasonal quickie.
Yeah.
As I've never seen it. Lost Navigator by Heavy Seas.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Keep them coming, Heavy Seas. All right. So what is this authentic self stuff?
So there's this... I don't know why it's even a thing. But
it became a thing. Was a couple of years ago. It became a thing.
About bringing your authentic self to work.
Right.
And so let me start with the upside.
Sure. Okay.
A positive upside.
A positive.
What they think that they're saying is authenticity is essential.
Yeah.
All right. We encourage our teams to bring their unique perspectives and personalities to the job.
Yeah.
The entire company benefits. By embracing our true selves, we can unlock greater creativity, productivity, and connection.
Okay.
So, is there anything wrong with, so far,
unique perspective, creativity, and
your personality.
Personality,
right?
Okay.
So you don't,
unless you have a crappy personality.
You don't have but you don't just come in there as a mindless Borg and say, "What is my job? I will follow the rules."
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, spice it up a little bit. Let's you got ideas, you got perspectives.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
wrong
mean,
with that.
you can imagine a company that's trying to sell products to a certain market, and they just have a complete blind spot on how the Hispanic community would view that product, or they have a complete blind spot on, how somebody else might think about this thing or that thing. So having the different perspectives can be helpful.
But what? But what if you hate that product and you think it's stupid?
Okay.
Right. You see how we start to get into a problem that you're no. Whoa. Your job here is to sell this product. Yeah, but that's inconsistent with my authentic self. I'm not that kind of guy.
You're going right to the bad already.
I know. Well, here's the TED Talker guy.
Okay, yeah.
I'll ease into the bad part.
All right.
How about this? When we bring our whole selves to work, we're able to feel fully engaged.
Okay.
We feel more invested in the work we're doing because we know that we're being true to ourselves while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little wishy-washy. And then when we're not hiding behind a mask of professionalism, we're more likely to feel satisfied with our work. See, this is the problem is that millennials have decided that your workplaces need to make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
That I need a good home work balance.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that the works. Did you grow up thinking that before you even get to the job, you've already had these demands about what you should be able to do while you're there?
I think centuries of coal miners, were thinking, how can I bring my authentic self and have a good work-life balance and feel as if I'm, fully engaged and fulfilling myself as I'm going down into this tiny little hole under the ground and digging coal.
Being our true selves while doing it.
Yeah. So now let's try to, for as much as we can, try to stick to the positive side. So it is true that people bring a unique perspective. It is true that people can bring creativity. They can bring personality. It's also true that they can. You don't want people to have to hide who they are, at least to a certain extent, right?
Yes. Or a way I feel like they're saying, don't be a phony.
Yeah.
Don't pretend to like golf if you don't like golf.
Exactly.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. All right. So you want to be seen as you don't want to be seen as disingenuous.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, that guy seems to whoever is speaking. You're like, oh yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that too. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
If you're gay, then don't pretend that you're not gay or something like that. So I can understand.
Yeah, right. I was out with very many chicks this weekend. Okay, well you weren't, so
right. Yeah, so don't be a phony.
Yeah,
that makes
sense.
Sense.
All right, I'm okay with that.
But let's think of it from this perspective. What are the properties or the characteristics of an employee that employers really value? Okay, so there are things like integrity and honesty,
right?
Accountability and ownership.
And the integrity and honesty that goes with not being a phony.
Not being a phony.
So
that's right.
There we are. We're okay. I'm good.
Teamwork and collaboration.
Okay.
Okay. Adaptability and flexibility. Okay. Communication skills, problem solving and critical thinking. If you look at job applications, these are the kind of things they're asking for.
Yeah.
Initiative, proactiveness. Having a work ethic, being dependable, showing up when you're supposed to show up, customer focus, a growth mindset, and then bonus words like cultural fit, passion, entrepreneurial. Those are the kind of things that companies are really looking for. Now, what if you don't like to talk to people? What if you don't want to work in a team?
Exactly. Exactly. So where does this clash between authenticity and incompatibility with the job?
Mm-hmm.
Does it override all of those things? Well, no, you have a job to do.
Yeah. So what happens if your authentic self is introverted, skeptical, prefers solo work, needs stability, dislikes small talk, and isn't wired to constantly lean in? Right?
Yeah.
So the companies,
so you're going, gosh, oh God, I hate these meetings. I hate interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is what I have to do.
But and that's my authentic self. But what an actual employee does is say, I have to push beyond that because the expectations of the job are X, Y, and Z.
That's right.
I mean, so at what point does this authentic self override the goals of the job?
That's right. So you're an introvert, and you really can't stand going out and making small talk with people during the cocktail hour at the event.
Yeah.
That you're an event planner for.
Right.
You know? But I'm sorry, I don't care that you're an introvert. This is the job. You've got to go do it. So this authentic self thing only makes sense if your authentic self is all these things that a company really wants in there, right?
If they're already consistent with what the company needs.
Yeah.
Now you can't go ahead.
Yeah, so you sent me this thing with this guy who was on the positive side of it.
Yeah.
And then there was another video of a woman who was complaining about the
Don't
bring your authentic self. And unfortunately it turned out to be exactly what I expected it to be. This is a black woman who was saying don't bring your authentic self, and she pretty much played the race card and said, "Oh, I can't talk about how I feel about racial oppression and all those other kind of things at work because nobody wants to hear about that." And
no, I didn't think it was going that way.
It was.
And
so, okay, let's say that you're obsessed with some topic. Well, I don't care what the topic is. Let's say you're obsessed with feminism. And that's all you can talk about at work. You're everything that comes up, you're bringing it into feminism. Everything that comes up, you're coming from that angle. You know, the boss might pull you aside and say, "You know, we've had enough of this feminism stuff. We really don't need more of it."
All right, and if you filter everything in your private life through that,
that's your business.
That is your authentic
that's
self.
Your thing.
That's where you're the most comfortable or whatever. Don't bring that to work.
Yeah, if that's your thing, if you want to interpret everything in the universe as the Roman Catholic Church has destroyed humanity because of their oppressive policies, okay, fine. But I don't want to hear about it at the office.
No, this argument that you are being untrue to yourself, unless you're bringing that to the office, and the office needs to accommodate that. You're out of your mind.
Yeah. So there's this Japanese thing. Supposedly the Japanese say you have three faces: the face you show the world, the face you show your close friends and family.
Yeah.
And the face you never show anyone.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean I think there's more faces than three.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of other ways you can be. There's you when you're hungry. There's you when you're horny. There's you when you're
in Confucianism, in Chinese philosophy.
Yeah.
Like if you peeled back the layers of the onion, there's nothing there. You are all of the roles that you play in life. So you are you're a dad, and you're a friend, and you're a neighbor, and you're a citizen. And so, and each of these does require a slightly different face.
That's right.
And all this together is you.
Yeah.
That's the real you. As opposed to this idea that all of those things are fake and phony. And deep all the way down in the core of this onion is this authentic you that likes to put on makeup and prance around your bedroom on a Saturday night. That's the real me, and why can't I bring that cross-dressing guy to work? Because that's where we're going with this, by the way.
Yes.
So the idea is that, so that's where you get this is all leading up to the transiness. So if you want to cosplay as a woman in a latex suit, and that's where you feel the most you, or whatever. Therefore, society and workplaces and whatever must conform to that.
Yeah, that's
because
just nonsense.
It is nonsense.
But imagine that you're working as a front line. You're working the register at Macy's. Okay.
Where all the attractive people work.
Yeah. So you have. People are coming up and they want to buy stuff from you, and you're working at Macy's, and you just feel in your heart that you're a Jedi, and you want, that's your authentic self, and you want to come to work wearing a Jedi outfit, and maybe even like having a lightsaber at your side, and all that kind of stuff. Macy's doesn't want that.
They don't want that.
So, I mean, this whole authentic self thing, it sounds nice at a certain level, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Like that quote you gave earlier about this mask of professionalism.
Mask?
I like the mask of professionalism.
We all expect you to put that mask on when you walk through this door.
That's
We're
right.
a professional company, and we behave in a professional manner.
Yeah.
And you can call it a mask in an insulting way, but it's just an expectation.
Yes, and that means you leave your potty mouth outside.
Yeah.
That means you come dressed with a shirt and a tie. That means whatever it means
Yeah.
for your particular environment and your work. That's
Yes. There's a pigweed at work that is as kind and considerate and helpful and the almost unrecognizable.
not the pigweed who likes Schopenhauer.
There's a pigweed with my family. There's a pigweed at work, and there's a pigweed in Ben Franklin Studios, who's kind of mean and insulting and a little bit rude and doesn't care what you think. And he kind of stays. I don't even let him out on the vast estate of the rest of the pigweed.
That's right. He's
layer.
mostly just in
He
here.
just stays right here.
I don't think I even saw that guy in our camping trip.
No, I'm considerate of people's feelings everywhere else but here.
Yes, right.
And if I said that this one
is my authentic one,
then I would be carrying this guy out in the world, and tell you what, it wouldn't go well.
You wouldn't have a job.
Family, friends, nothing.
That's right. Yeah. So this whole authentic self thing, it breaks down pretty fast. First of all,
It really does.
First of all, you don't even know who your authentic. What does that even mean? You don't know who your authentic self is. There is no one authentic self that is your authentic self. That's just BS. And then the second thing is, every situation you go into, when you're at church, when you're at the 7-Eleven, when you're at wherever you are,
you read the room,
yes,
right?
and you adapt to behave the way is appropriate.
And actually,
in that
if there is
situation.
there is that guy, that the pigweed who is always that guy everywhere.
Yeah.
And nobody likes him.
Nobody likes him, and it's like, we really don't want to invite you to poker because you're,
Yeah, you're going to be
that guy,
that
and we don't
guy.
want that guy. We want somebody who's going to sit around and play poker and maybe tell a joke every once in a while.
Exactly, and then kind of feel the room out and realize what kind of, you know what I mean? If everybody's telling bawdy jokes, you can jump in. If they're not that kind of crowd, you don't do that. I'm bawdy joke guy. All right, well, that bawdy joke guy isn't welcome everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so the video you sent me of the black woman who was saying, don't bring your authentic self to work, I didn't really like a lot of her attitude, I completely agree with her conclusion.
Yeah.
Which is, the whole idea of bringing your authentic self to work is just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. Do you remember, just a few years ago, we did a show about the Biden era recruitment videos?
Oh my gosh!
And they were
yes.
they were for
military recruitment. Yeah.
Military and CIA.
Oh yeah.
So I got two of them here.
Okay.
You can go back there, and this was all about that. This was 100% bring your authentic self, and how great it is that the CIA allows me to, and the U.S. military allows me to be my authentic self, and I cannot think. I would not want you bringing your authentic self to the XYZ widget factory.
Right.
And the very last place I need to see your authentic self is so there were those two, plus there was, at the same time, it was compared to the Russian recruitment film, which was just like a guy at a basketball court, not really sure what he would do, and then flashes of him jumping out of planes and shooting things.
Yeah.
And then the Chinese one was more of a collectivist idea, that here you are part of a...
You're a cog.
You're part of a powerful unit. And then there's ours, and here's ours. Officers from the top down work hard to ensure that every single person, whatever their gender identity, race, disability, or sexual orientation, can bring themselves to work every day. The CIA, your nation is counting on you. So then there's the 36-year-old Latina who describes herself as intersectional, cisgender, millennial, unapologetically She refuses to internalize the misguided patriarchal ideas of what a woman can or should be.
So I just recently rewatched Under Siege, which is who's the actor in that?
I don't know. Is it Tom Clancy?
No. It's.
I mean, is it a Tom Clancy book?
No. For some reason, I'm forgetting the name of the actor, but it's a fun movie.
Steven Seagal?
Steven Seagal.
Oh, jeez.
It's a fun movie about a battleship where the bad guys are trying to take over the battleship. Right. Well, Major Crowhill, every once in a while, was looking for... She teaches officers.
Okay.
And she's frequently looking for like examples from popular culture, from TV shows, from movies and things, to reinforce lessons. Mm-hmm. And I watched Under Siege and I thought, well, here's a good one, because basically the reason the bad guys were able to take over the ship is because the people didn't follow procedures.
Mm. Yeah.
Like there are procedures. When a helicopter comes in, you alert this guy. When something deviates from the procedure, there's a reason those procedures exist. Now, it doesn't matter if, well, my authentic self is I trust the guy over here. No. There's a reason. There's a reason why they shave your head and they make you all wear the same uniform.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get you to conform to a pattern. We've discovered that if you behave this way and do things like this, that will be effective and will work. And that's obviously not a regular employment situation. Isn't as regulated as that. But this idea of the military should be your own authentic self. What a bunch of nonsense.
And there was like, I'm Brandy. I grew up with 2 moms in California. And as a kid, I remember going to pride parades. And now I'm in the Army. And really, this is your sales pitch, that you can be sure to bring all your authentic self. We're going to shave your head and make you do the job.
We're going to make you do this other stuff.
The exact
and
opposite.
Doesn't make any difference what you were before.
So here's another CIA one here. I'm a woman of color. I'm a mom. I'm a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder.
That's, generalized anxiety disorder is exactly the person I want in charge of a bunch of weapons.
No, in the CIA who's going undercover and pretending to be somebody else. Yeah. That's what you want. Is somebody trembling and weird. She says, I did not sneak into the CIA, and says she suffered from imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
Again, in the CIA. So both the CIA and under Joe Biden and the military their recruitment was some of this. Bring your authentic self.
Hey weirdos, come into our military.
Yes, because the battle readiness, that's a thing, I guess.
And you know what happened?
Mostly it's important that you can be who you want to be.
And you know what happened? Recruitment tanked. And now, fortunately...
It's through the roof in 100 days.
Now that we've reestablished, no, the military is about breaking things and killing people and defending the country.
And you realize, and then you find out that there are a bunch of badass young men who are waiting for that message.
Yeah.
Thank God. I thought we had neutered all of them, but apparently they're out there ready to go.
There's still some, probably from the South. So the bottom line, the bring your authentic self to work stuff is no. Don't bring your authentic self to work. Bring your professional self to work. And
you know what? You actually can be any kind of weirdo you want.
Yeah.
On the weekend,
do whatever you want.
You're right, or you're like, I'm Mr. Biker Guy. I rode across part of the country with a guy who seemed like super biker guy to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was badass.
Yeah.
He had motorcycles, and that was all about that. But he afforded that by putting on a suit and going in and doing financial management during the week.
Exactly.
So that was I saw his authentic self. His other self, I'm not sure what that looked like, but guess what? It brought home enough money to pay for several motorcycles and motorcycle trips. That's right. Why you do it.
You have multiple different versions of yourself, and you have to present the one that's appropriate for the time.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I think that's the end of it. And there's our pretty mascot for this.
Oh Lord!
If you can see the character up here.
Okay.
All right. Cheers. Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedandcrowhill.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.